Welcome to Love Television's Evening News for today, Friday, June 10. There is a lot to tell you about as we come to you live from our studios on Slaughterhouse Road in Belize City. We'll get started with a look at the top stories. Caribbean Court of Justice dismisses case brought by gay rights activist Maurice Tomlinson. 2016 PSC results are out. We'll tell you who topped this year's PSC. Land dispute in Unitedville puts mother against her son. Government of Japan makes donation to the Ministry of Health. Insurance companies donate to Dara's feeding program, and the third phase of Aldebaran's Young, Clean and Green campaign comes to an end. The Caribbean Court of Justice has dismissed the case brought by Jamaican activist Maurice Tomlinson. Tomlinson was challenging Belize's immigration laws, claiming the law discriminated against him being a homosexual man. Tomlinson had challenged the immigration law of Belize, stating that it was discriminatory and that it had violated the rights of LGBT persons that live in the Caribbean to move freely within the CARICOM region. Tomlinson had to seek to be heard as an individual in the case because his home country, Jamaica, had refused to bring the claim on his behalf. This morning, the 13-minute ruling from the Caribbean Court of Justice was delivered. Solicitor General Nigel Hawke spoke to the media following the ruling.
Mr. Tomlinson application has been dismissed based on what the court said. We have to read the judgment fully in order to give you a proper understanding of what but based on what the court said, you know, the application is dismissed based on state practice, right? And the fact that Mr. Tomlinson did not ever come to Belize was turned away. In fact, what the court was saying, he basically was trying to preempt the states of Trinidad and Tobago and Belize, right? So on that basis, the court dismissed the application. So we feel vindicated that our position all along was that our state practice is fundamentally different. When we read the judgment, the reality is we're part of CARICOM, and I guess we have to look at the judgment now and take steps to see what we need to do in relation to our law. But clearly, the court mentioned Article 9, which they say in any event supersedes the domestic provisions in our laws.
The court concluded that homosexual CARICOM nationals have a right to freedom of movement essentially on the same terms as any other CARICOM national, and that the state practice of both Belize and Trinidad and Tobago is in keeping with that right. Attorney Lisa Schumann spoke of Tomlinson's argument in the case, which he based on Article 45 of the revised Treaty on the Chaguaramas, which says member states commit themselves to the goal of free movement of their nationals within the community.
You realize it applies to foreign nationals coming into Belize. And in terms of Mr. Tomlinson, his argument was the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas, which assures freedom of movement for CARICOM nationals, as long as they are not quote-unquote undesirable. As the judge pointed out, the issue of qualification or skill really has little to do with it. This is a guarantee that all governments give to citizens. And so I believe it will be open to Mr. Tomlinson or any other CARICOM foreign national that comes in and is denied entry on the basis of homosexuality, for that person to then apply again to the Caribbean Court of Justice, because in my view, this was a ruling that really goes to a technical basis, which is that there was no actual denial of his rights, and therefore he didn't make out what he applied for. That's why the application was dismissed.
The court did not penalize Tomlinson due to the fact that it is a critical and important point of law. Belize had filed for Tomlinson to pay the court costs. That should be Belize had filed for Tomlinson to pay the court costs, but that was denied. Tomlinson released a statement via social media saying, quote, "The Caribbean Court of Justice denied my application for a declaration that the laws of Belize and Trinidad and Tobago, which ban the entry of homosexuals, violated my right to free movement in CARICOM. However, the court made it clear that as a homosexual, I must be allowed the right of entry into both countries, and that the states should act to repeal the laws which create confusion for CARICOM travel. This provides some clarity for Caribbean LGBTI people. As a result of the novel nature of the case, the court denied Belize's application for me to pay their legal costs. So, all in all, I am okay. There is no possibility of appealing the judgment, so it is now time for the states to act. End of quote. With the ruling in the Tomlinson's case, it has brought back the attention to the Caleb Orozco case. Orozco is challenging Section 53 of the laws of Belize, which states every person who has carnal intercourse against the order of nature with any person or animal shall be liable to imprisonment for 10 years. Today we spoke with Attorney Lisa Schumann about the delay in the handing down of a decision by the Chief Justice Kenneth Benjamin.
I think it is important to state that the Orozco case has now been awaiting a decision for 3 years, and that it is critical to get that decision because, as the maxim goes, justice delayed is justice denied. So we are anxiously awaiting that decision and looking forward to the day when we too can sit in court and hear the ruling of the Chief Justice on that matter.
UNIBAM issued a release today in which it states, quote, "Such an egregious delay is a failure to act and reflect a sign of our judiciary not performing its duty in the provision of justice. It is a sign that there is a systematic problem in our judiciary which needs correcting. We sent a letter dated May 19, 2016 to the Registrar of the Supreme Court to remind the Court of Section 6, subsection 7 of our Constitution, which speaks to, quote, the case shall be given a fair hearing within a reasonable time, end of quote, and highlighted the CCJ decision in Walsh et al. V. Ward et al. That speaks to an inordinate delay in deciding cases imposes hardship on the litigants, reflect adversely on the reputation and credibility of the civil justice system as a whole, and reinforces the negative images the public can have of the way judges and lawyers perform their roles, end of quote. The are a bit delayed this year, but they are here, and the administrators at the St. Andrews Anglican Primary School can boast of topping this year's results. 7,392 students had registered for the primary school examination, of which 7,235 sat the 4 subjects. Of the top 22 performing schools, St. Andrews Anglican School took 5 of those places. So did Bernice York Institute of Learning, while Belize Elementary School took 4, and La Immaculada in Orange Walk took 2 of the top 22 spots. Coming in on top for 2016 is Kenley Young, with a score of 391 points out of a possible 400. Angelina Urbino placed second from La Immaculada Primary School in Orange Walk with 391 points, and Marcela Lozano of Bernice York Institute of Learning placed third with 388 points, followed by Ugo Lin of Belize Elementary School and Renai Gonzalez of St. Andrews Anglican Primary School. The 2 exam dates for 2016 were on March 14 and May 3 in the subjects of mathematics, English, science, and social studies. The PSC exam assesses how well the students have grasped the primary school curriculum in the 4 primary areas. The results of the examination are intended to be used for 2 main purposes, one being the certification of students at the completion of primary schooling in 4 content areas of the primary curriculum, and educational decision-making to inform policy, planning, and practice at national, district, school, and classroom levels. The World Bank has published its Global Economic Prospects dated June 2016 with a general overview that the growth prospects have weakened throughout the world's economy. The 194-page document has noted that global growth for 2016 is projected at 2.4%, a figure unchanged from what they have dubbed the disappointing pace of 2015. In the report's summary, it stated that since the publication of the January 2016 Global Economic Prospects, weakness in the global economy has persisted and risks have become more pronounced. As it relates to the Latin America and the Caribbean, the World Bank noted that regional output shrank 0.7% in 2015, broadly in line with January estimates after expanding 1% in 2014. GDP was dragged down by depressed commodity prices. tighter regional monetary conditions, and domestic challenges among the region's largest economies. Brazil, and particularly Venezuela, are both mired in deep recessions, while Argentina has embarked on macroeconomic policy reforms aimed at more sustainable growth. Mexico, Central America, and the Caribbean expanded steadily in 2015, boosted by robust growth in exports and tourism. As regional weakness carries over to 2016, and with Brazil expected to experience another year of severe contraction, economic activity in Latin America and the Caribbean is expected to shrink 1.3%, exclusive of Brazil, where regional growth in 2016 is projected at 0.5%. A gradual recovery in 2017 to 2018 will be supported by strengthening net exports and an easing of substantial domestic obstacles. This year marks the 25th anniversary of the Global Economic Prospects, a World Bank Group flagship report prepared by the Prospects Group in the Development Economics Vice Presidency. Since its inception in 1991, the Global Economic Prospects Report has examined international economic developments and the outlook for growth, with a special focus on emerging market and developing economies. It has analyzed a wide range of topical macroeconomic, financial, and structural policy challenges that these economies face. A shooting last night in the area of Mahogany Heights left a watchman dead. Assistant Commissioner of Police Edward Broster shared the details.
Today, the 9th of June at about 8:15 p.m., we received calls of shot fired in Mahogany Heights area. The police responded where they found the lifeless body of one Lyndon Murillo, 51 years, of 108 Mahogany Heights, suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Initial investigation revealed that he was riding his bicycle on his way home when someone ambushed him from behind and inflicted 2 gunshot wounds, one to his foot and one to his back, which exited the right side of his chest. Since of crime processed the scene, we found 3 expended shells, and at this time we do not have no further information. Our investigation continuing to this matter, and we don't have any motive as yet for this shooting in Mahogany Heights.
The murder weapon used in the shooting was a 9mm pistol. The police recovered 3 expended shells from the scene. A man remains hospitalized following a shooting incident on Thursday night in Belize City. Police reports are that sometime around 9 o'clock, residents of Laura Dunn Street and Antelope Street Extension reported hearing gunshots. When they arrived on the scene, they found 25-year-old Deshaun Young suffering from gunshot wounds to the chest, neck, and shoulder. He was transported to the hospital where he is listed in a critical condition. Investigations into this incident are ongoing. A land dispute in Unitedville Village in the Cayo district is tearing a family apart. Reporter Ingrid Fernandez traveled west yesterday to get some answers.
A land dispute has divided a family in Unitedville and is turning even messier as allegations of land corruption at the lands department involving the chairman of the village have surged. The dispute is over 1 acre of land on which Alexander Vasquez is currently occupying along with his wife and her son. The dispute is between Alexander Vasquez and his mother, Francisca Vasquez, who is presumably the owner of the land he occupies. However, her son claims that when he visited the land department, they found that the acre of land had no owner and it was government property. Love News visited Unitedville and spoke with various people. Alexander Vasquez tells us the problem.
The problem began because my ma and my father behind me for go in the land, go check about the land, and said for apply for the land. Okay, I didn't pay them no mind. They come back to me again. They said go and say about the land because they don't want no strangers on the land. So I took it from them and I went in. So I went in now and applied for the land. They accept my application at lands. Now it caused a big uproar with them because I got to apply for the land. No, they want the land now because they see the development of the place. There wasn't any owner.
Okay.
They send me down to the mapping section to check to see if they let me get a map and took it back to them, and they will follow it from there. And when I take it back to them, they check the system, and there is no file pop up for Francisco Vasquez. Nor Teofilo Vasquez said that them apply for the land already, or they had lease for the land. The guy told me it's government property, so they accept my application. So now I went back several times, different times. They didn't see any file pop up for them. So I went back the fourth time. And when I went back the fourth time, Mr. Amin Bombardier, he said he had a file for them. How all of a sudden now they have a file for them after the third time when I went there, they couldn't find any. My father owned the surrounding, the 5.12 acres or 13 acres. This had no owner. So they're trying to include this in for them piece now, in for them 5.123 acres. So they wanted to be the complete 6.8 acres for including in one, but then they don't already had their piece surveyed. They already had their lease for the 5.123 acres. This 1 acres is government property. I went and applied. They accept my application. So they're still fighting me for this piece of land.
That is Alexander Vasquez's side of the story, but as we know, there are always two sides. His mother is refuting his claim, stating that she holds a lease for the acre on which her son lives. She stated that previously she had given permission to her son to live on the land, but rumors reach her that the stepson that lives with him wanted to sell the acre of land. She got angry and demanded that they leave.
I went to the land department to Mr. Bajeras, and I show him my papers, that I have a paper from Dito Huang time when he was in lands department. And when I got to hear that they want the land for sale, I went to him and tell him. He said, no, it's not true. I tell him, yes, they find it in Facebook, that the land is on sale at $9,500 US. And when I tell him about it, he said, no, that's not true. You see? And when I go to lands now, the lands tell me that this land, that's for me. So he don't know why the boy wants to sell the land and not for me. Well, when I used to tell him he go about the land, this never happened. Now when I get to understand that if his stepson can live down there, and he give if his stepson opportunity to sell the land. And when I tell him about it, he said no. That's not true, but I tell people, they tell me that you and your stepson, they sell this land for so much. He said no. Right now I do got the lands, and the lands they tell me that whenever this paper get through, the policeman and his land survey, the landsman will come deliver one paper to them. And in a 15 days time, they have to move from down there. I usually plant my beans and whatnot, because the whole of this land from there to down there where they are, I used to plant beans down there. I used to have a lot of customers buying my beans. So that's why I want down there right now, because they are keeping me back to do my planting.
We will have more details on that story in our Monday news. The Ministry of Health today received a donation from the Japanese government. Here's Fam Cruz with that story.
A short ceremony was held this morning at NEMO Headquarters Conference Room in Belmopan for the donation of wheelchairs to the Ministry of Health by the government of Japan. At hand to receive that donation was Minister Angel Campos.
We'll be distributing these wheelchairs through all the hospitals. I think it will be 2 wheelchairs in most of our major hospitals, which will be a benefit for our patients, especially when they reach there and they cannot walk into the emergency. These wheelchairs will help us a lot. The needs are there. I have been asked for by many of the hospitals that they have wheelchairs, but they are in relatively bad conditions due to the much use of them. So with this, we will be replenishing what we have, and we're getting, the people of Belize will be benefiting from this.
Love News spoke to a representative from the Japanese government who explained how this initiative came about.
4 years ago, we received the big natural disaster of the earthquake in the part of Japan, and we also received the big tsunami, and this remote earthquake and the tsunami destroyed a lot of the industry, and the Japanese government assist that industry. This is a program of the Japanese government by donate a lot of product from this industry area to the overseas. And today we donate the 30 foil chair to government of Belize. So we are very happy to do the people that receive this the benefit from government of Japan.
This is Brother FM Cruz reporting from the nation's capital city, Belmopan, for Love FM.
In April 2015, the German non-governmental organization Aldebaran launched its third campaign under the Young, Clean and Green program, which started in 2010. Today in Belize City, there was the closing ceremony of this phase with presentations done by several secondary schools. Stephanie Loop is Aldebaran's managing director.
We have to change our life. We have to protect Belize, the beautiful country, and we have to protect the world. Everything is now a little bit changing. We have climate change. It's coming very fast. We have the problem plastic and sea. This will become our biggest problem. Then the sea is our biggest table for food, and we destroy. And I think you are on the right way to learn, to change the lifestyle, and to protect Belize in a different way. Thank you so much for participating. I'm very proud about you.
During this morning's ceremony, several of the students spoke of the level of work that went into this campaign and the lessons learned.
We've been working so hard for this, and we were looking forward for this, and we just tried our best. And first of all, I want to say that we've been working on reducing of plastic use, and it has been a big impact to the lives of the people. What I liked about this is that we all work together like a group. It was all about working but having fun together, and then it doesn't matter if we're a girl or boys, we both worked and planned together. So that's what I liked about it, and it was amazing. I really enjoyed it.
Planting and helping the environment was a great experience that we learned from. This project taught us many things, such as commitment, responsibility, patience, and to work as a team.
Our projects included the planting of cilantro, moringa, tomatoes, chaya, mint, thyme leaf, fever grass, lime grass, and pine trees. Also, furniture with pallets were made as another way to help our environment. And we also reused materials that we had around our environment.
In the home ec room that we were cooking, they had vegetables that they were just throwing away. And because most of the time we have to hurry to go to our other class after we cook, and they were only throwing away the vegetables. And at my home, my mother taught me to really just develop a compost bin, and I thought to bring that to school. So then when I saw we were throwing away the vegetables, we thought to just throw it into the flower bin. So while we did that, we're just trying to save and improve the environment. So then at the same time, after a couple of weeks, we saw that tomatoes started to grow. And then we saw that that was a really good idea. So then we started to throw more vegetables and more fruits, and at the same time, they were growing. So then we thought that that helped the environment a lot. And then at the same time, it helped many workers that were at the school. So then we just gave away the cilantros and the tomatoes, and it really helped us to be able to conserve the environment.
Present at this morning's ceremony was Mayor of Orange Walk Town, Kevin Bernard. He spoke to Love News and his role at today's ceremony and his support for the Green and Clean initiative.
I had the privilege to be invited to the Aldebaran cleanup campaign initiative. I could recall in 2010 when I was first invited. I was a councillor at the time when that initiative started within municipalities. But I'm here for two reasons. One, and it's an honor to be here, definitely. One, because this initiative is one that shows awareness up to our people, to our citizens, and especially to our young people. I'm very pleased to see the young people involved in this initiative this year, in this cleanup campaign. And definitely we need to ensure that these are things that continue to happen across this country. Sometimes I'm saddened when you're driving on the highways and you see people throwing garbage out of the bus. So something like this is very crucial. It's very critical. We must realize that the protection of our environment and keeping our environment pristine is what is important. And that is the reason why the awareness campaign and the continuous engagement with our communities, and especially through the schools and the kids, is very important. Secondly, I am also, as I'm a member of the board of the chairman of Orange Walk Technical High School, and so it is a privilege for me to also be here along to share this honor with them for being one of the schools in Orange Walk that have been living an environmentally friendly and life at the school. And their neighboring school, which is New Hope High School, is also from Orange Walk Town, and so I must also acknowledge them. They have been doing the same. And I have seen the different list of schools that have become the top 5 schools. So it's a privilege for me to see that in the north, CCC, Orange Walk Technical High School, and New Hope will be awarded today, and so definitely I'm here to share that moment with them as well, and to say to our people across this country, let's keep Belize clean. It is ours to keep clean.
The participating schools are Orange Walk Technical High School, New Hope High School, Curacao Community College, Sacred Heart College, and Excelsior High School. Childhood trauma is the trending topic of a 3-day workshop held by the Ministry of Health. A look into causes, effects, and preventions are being discussed. Psychiatric nurses, psychiatrists, counselors, medical officers, and psychologists are attending the workshop to enhance their knowledge on the conditions. Love News spoke to Ingrid Bonilla-Claire, coordinator and psychiatric nurse, who told us about the importance of the workshop.
The purpose of this workshop is for us to be able to understand more about childhood trauma. So the focus is understanding what it is, the treatment for it, and whatever repercussions you have as a result of this trauma. We have seen a number of children who have been affected. Also, what happened is that every year we do this workshop. So the focus is always to do different topics that are affecting us. And a survey done amongst the health professionals, we decided that this was one area that we were needing some more information in.
The workshop has a number of different topics being discussed. Claire told us about those and also gave us an example of the effects of childhood trauma.
The topics focus around stress, around traumatic events that children would encounter, and also identifying the at-risk group. Take, for example, a child who was not able to grow up with their parent, and then were placed through our systems, for example, the children's home or something like that. And then you have this child not receiving that love and affection that, a parent would naturally be able to give. You find that children who go through this sometimes are not able to attach to someone else, whether it be a caregiver, with friends, and then at the same time, apart from the attachment, because there was never that mother to child bonding, as a result of that, then they might develop other conditions whereby maybe they steal, they do destructive things, running away, they become aggressive with others, fighting at school, bullying. So these things are the result of children that had no bonding and attachment.
Guest speaker is Dr. Linda Chakravarti, who is a child psychiatrist in New York. She told us about her presentation.
Over the course of 3 days, my goal is to help a variety of health and mental health professionals learn more about childhood trauma and the understanding, recognition of what constitutes traumatic events in children of different ages, but also understand the effects that trauma can have on children as well as families, and the intergenerational aspects of trauma, which start really at the parent level, and how parents and caregivers are often themselves survivors of various traumatic experiences, and how that can impact on their parenting and the ability for parents to be able to better help their children sustain a normal development. From a system standpoint, there's a lot of development to be had in terms of services and resources. So the other part of the workshop is really to be able to think about what areas of advocacy need to be further emphasized and done in order to develop certain other kinds of systems, whether it be in child protection or juvenile justice or just mental health treatment in general.
The workshop ends tomorrow. This week is being observed as Insurance Week. This morning, a group of insurance companies came together to donate to a good cause. The Dara feeding program located in Kings Park today received needed goods. Joel Dara Robinson feeds students from a number of schools in the Kings Park area. Today, he received a number of boxes with non-perishable items, a new stove, as well as a monetary donation. Love News spoke to him.
That the bloodline of this program how it survive, you know. And first of all, I want to thank God for the blessing and everything, because that one community work, and it take the community and the business place and company to come together. We support a program like this to make it survive through the whole year. You know, only keep it open, encouraging, like because at times you get depressed, you get discouraged, and when the community react, because I go out and really ask and think, people know about the work, they hear about it, they come visit, then come Wednesday, come help serve the kids and get one idea where all we do and thing, and then they contribute. And things like this I will keep you going, you understand, because then it make the job much easier if you don't have to kill up yourself and go there like that. I do me only fundraising every 6 months and thing, but things like that, and I will keep the program going, you know. And we really appreciate it, and I know them kids are benefit greatly from it. This is the last month for the leave program, and we want to take a leave break. I want to do my leave fundraising in July, August, and open school with a bang, you understand, and get ready again for when the kids come back.
Melissa Geiger, president of the Insurance Institute of Belize, spoke to Love News about the preparation of getting the goods together and the meaning behind the donation.
We are giving Dara canned foods, non-perishable because it's more than canned foods, and we also partnered with Unicommer Belize to present him with a stove. And then with Raymond Park's Night Shelter, we're also giving them canned food drive. We did the canned food drive on Wednesday of this week, and now you will see the proceeds of that food drive. We will also presenting each one of them with a check for $500. That will be on behalf of Orinco and IIBZ. The insurance industry is an important service for the country of Belize. We also want to show our customers that we can also give back. So community service is important to us. So we not just only collect premiums, we also help. So it's important for us to help both the Dara's feeding program and Raymond Park's Night Shelter to help them to continue the good work that they're doing.
One of the participating insurance companies is RFNG Insurance. We spoke to Andrew Rowe, operations manager, who told us why it is important for them to contribute to the cause.
We solicited our staff, our clients, and let them know that we were doing this donation to the feeding program, and asked for their assistance. Is quite amazing. They came out with quite a lot of stuff, and the feeding program, I think, is a fantastic idea. Dara's been doing such a great job for such a long time, and most of it goes to children who otherwise wouldn't have a full meal or a meal for the day. And I think it's important because it keeps them off the streets, keeps them in the classroom, and helps education, which without that there's no success in life without education. So it's something that we're really happy to be a part of and helping out here. from RF&G's point of view, we're always trying to help out. We do a lot of small initiatives. We do a lot of it's behind the scenes, and we try to make a difference, at least positively, in the community.
The feeding program provides for 43 children. 2 Bulgarians, Georgi Petrov and Halid Abdullah, who had pled guilty to 18 counts of theft, will serve 1 year in prison. They were given jail time today by Senior Magistrate Sharon Fraser, who told their attorneys they pled guilty and saved the court time, but she believed that their actions were too deliberate and a fine in her view was not appropriate. She sentenced them to 3 months for each of the first 4 counts, with the stipulation that the sentences are to run consecutive to each other. She sentenced them to 3 months for the remaining counts, with the stipulation that the sentences are to run concurrently to each other and concurrently to the sentence for the first 4 counts. Therefore, they will serve 1 year. Petrov had stolen $6,800 and Abdullah had stolen $8,000 from Belize Bank. The prosecution indicated to the court that it will make an application for the forfeiture of $21,000 that the police found when they searched the apartment that Petrov and Abdullah were occupying. Attorneys Oscar Salgado and Christelle Wilson made submissions to the court that the money should be returned to their clients, and Senior Magistrate Fraser has set July 23 to give her decision. Belize Court of Appeal yesterday reserved its decision on the appeal of 50-year-old Fidel Williams, who was convicted of 10 counts of rape and sentenced to 80 years imprisonment. Williams was convicted in April 2011 at Dangriga Supreme Court. The incidents had occurred between March 2005 and November 2006 in Dangriga. The victim was 21 years old at the time. Williams' attorney, Leroy Banner, had appealed on 3 grounds. The first ground was that the trial was a nullity and that deliberation was not done in the minimum time frame. The second ground was that the conviction could not be supported with regards to the evidence, and the third ground was that the sentence was too excessive. Belize Court of Appeal will hear further arguments with regard to the third ground, and the Crown was represented by the Director of Public Prosecutions, Sherilyn Vidal. The trial of 2 men, Ronley Patillo and Matthew Smith, began today in the Court of Justice Adolph Lucas, with the only eyewitness testifying. Patillo and Smith are charged with the murder of Miguel Rivera, who was shot and killed on March 11, 2011, at Finnegan's Market, located on West Collett Canal in Belize City. Rivera was a vendor at the market. The testimony of the eyewitness has not yet been completed because the prosecution sought to make an application for a doc identification of Patillo, and Patillo's attorney, Anthony Sylvester, made submissions as to why the doc identification should not be allowed. The police identification parade that was held was ruled as improper, so it could not be admitted as evidence. After hearing Sylvester's submissions, the Crown withdrew its application for the doc identification, but informed the court that it still intends to make the application for the doc identification after the witness has completed his testimony. The trial has been adjourned until Monday, June 13. Smith is being represented by attorney Leroy Banner. The Crown is being represented by Crown Counsels Janelle Tillett and Shireen Rodriguez. They are guided by Crown Counsel Shanice Lovell. The trial is without jury. This morning, the Ladeville police apprehended a white delivery truck transporting illegal logs out of the Maskell area. Police say that when the 2 men in the truck were asked to produce licenses, they were unable to do so. Assistant Commissioner of Police Edward Broster spoke about their detention.
This morning, our police in Maskell stopped a truck, and upon checking it, they found illegal logs in the truck, which was brought to Ladeville Police Station, and we have been in touch with the forestry officers who will be coming to ascertain the offenses committed and levy charges against the individual Aurelio Mai and a 17-year-old minor. A truck like that in the Maskell area can either be doing legal business or illegal business, and the officer decided to check the truck, and when they checked the truck and opened it, they saw the logs. we know that the rainy season is here, and most of the loggers are trying to get the logs out before the ground gets soggy and impossible for them to transport the logs out of the area that they have been cutting, whether illegally or legally. So we are just on the lookout for the illegal loggers at this time.
Both the minor and the adult are detained at the Ladyville police station. Police operations in Toledo have resulted in the discovery of a quantity of suspected drugs, ammunition, and firearm in Halakta Village, Toledo District. We hear more from our correspondent, Paul Mahong.
Deputy Commander of Toledo Police Formation Inspector Francis Zuniga spoke of the Operation Discovery.
On Friday, the 27th of May 2016, sometime around 6:30 a.m., Punta Gorda Police, along with Special Branch personnel, conducted a search at the residence of one Esteban Cajal of Halakta Village, Toledo District. As a result of the search, a .22 Ultra brand pistol was found, along with a magazine containing eight rounds. A further search of the residence led to the discovery of 50 additional rounds and 48 grams of suspected cannabis. As a result, a minor has since been arrested and charged for kept firearm without a license and kept unlicensed ammunition.
Inspector Zuniga commented that the 16-year-old minor was taken to Punta Gorda Magistrate Court, where he was offered Supreme Court bail to the sum of $5,000 plus one surety of the same amount. The bail was met and the minor is due back in court on July 21, 2016. Reporting for Love News, Paul Mahong, Punta Gorda.
12-year-old Cleon Mirage is suffering from a relapse of leukemia and is in desperate need of a bone marrow transplant. His family does not have the money for the transplant and are appealing to the public for assistance. The family needs $100,000 to have the procedure done in Mexico. His mother, Clovis Matura, came to our studio yesterday and spoke about Cleon's condition.
My son has leukemia and he's been going to Merida for treatments for the past 2 years. He finished his treatments and he had a relapse, and he now needs a bone marrow transplant since the chemo did not work. It means that the cancer is immune to it. We will keep going to Merida until he's able to get the bone marrow transplant, which cost $100,000 in Mexico. We're fundraising often to try to raise the money to go to Merida until he can get it. But what we're doing is maybe looking into Cuba to see if they can help. We need to wait for an answer from the hospitals in Cuba, and that might be a while. So we must keep going back to Merida for more treatments.
The family has begun a fundraiser by having a dinner sale which is scheduled for tomorrow. Matura gave us some details.
We're having a turkey dinner sale on Saturday between 11 to 3 on number 63 Central American Boulevard. That's beside the butane shop. He's very smart and mannerly. He's one of the top students in his class. Before the sickness, he was very energetic and lively and playful, but now that he's gotten sick, he mostly just lays down or relax and sleep because he's tired all the time.
If you would like to pre-order, you can call 661-2791 or 665-0194. If you wish, you can also make a deposit at Scotiabank account number 910-7868 or at the Holy Redeemer Credit Union at account number 52770. Plans for the summer event Fiestarama is well underway by the Orange Walk Town Council and is set to take place at the People's Stadium in that municipality in July. Love News spoke with Mayor Kevin Bernard for an update.
Fiestarama, of course, is the biggest event this year. Every year we do the Fiestarama. This year it will be on the 30th and 31st of July at the People's Stadium. We were able to work out the financing of the use of the stadium. And I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to the now Deputy Prime Minister for putting his input in there as the minister, the substantive minister of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sports. We had to approach him in terms of the issue of the fees. But We are inviting businesses, all those businesses that want to come out and participate. Please contact the council at 670-2053 or 2054 or at the hotline at 670-6982 so that they could go in and register their business, and those who want to participate. Food vendors, as in, you know, we changed the way the Facerama used to be way back. It is now an expo type of event where people showcase their products and services, as well as we have entertainment for our people, and we have the mechanical rides that come in every year. Those are the things that we will have. Each year we try to find the best level price so that people could come in more. At the end of the day, though, Renee, that whatever the Facerama earns goes right back to our community, because we do a summer program for our people, so that it goes back to the community of the Orange Walk, and we offer these students a small grant for their work, a half-day work that they do over the week.
The profits from Facerama 2015 totaled just under $18,000, which was a decrease from 2014. The Orange Walk Town Council is gearing up to have its annual summer work program for students who will be out of school for the next few months as they transition from one level to the next. According to Mayor Kevin Bernard, things are going well for the summer work program.
Every year after our Facerama event, we carry out a summer program. Last year, we were able to get a $5,000 contribution from the Ministry of Education. In fact, the Honorable Patrick Farber at the time called me personally saying that, that they were assisting the town council with that contribution. So we were able to help more students because we normally get the funding from our revenues from Facerama. So this year, again, what we will do immediately after Facerama, we will have a small summer program, and I want to make the plea once again to the Minister of Education and the Deputy Prime Minister that if he sees it fit to assist the Orange Walk Town Council once more so that we can assist more students. These monies goes a long way because these students work half day and they earn $100 for that week, and that can buy something that could provide some help. We offer, it's a 2-week program that we help over 100 students. So we try to put 50 students in the first week and 50 students in the second week. There have been years when we have gone all above 100, but I think this year we want to keep it to the 100. Should we get a profitable response at the Facerama, and if we get the support from the Ministry of Education.
The program is geared at giving students some financial aid through work within the municipality, an undertaking that has proven successful in past years.
It's a work program. Apart from the work program, however, we assist through the council other agencies, whether it is through Rotaract, whether we help financially a bit, whether it is through other individuals who want to carry out small summer programs. Then we do those assistance, but we offer more a work program where people come in and do a cleanup. Again, in the issue of cleanup campaign, we have them come in, do community work, and then we pay them a small fee so that they could have something for their education.
To sign up for the program, residents of Orange Walk Town can call the office. The Ladyville Police just received a trailer load of books, which they will be distributing tomorrow at the Ladyville Book Fair. Assistant Commissioner for Police Edward Broster tells us more.
This Saturday, we'll be having a book fair both in the Northeastern Division and Rural Eastern Division. It will commence at 10 a.m. and it will run up until 2 p.m. We're inviting all members of the community to come in, no matter the age, and see if they are interested in any of the books that we'll be having to give away. And we will be documenting who gets books, and especially when it comes to young people and children, so that we can follow up with them and check on them and do some kind of community cooperation with those individuals. And this is being done by the People's Coalition Committee of Eastern Division, Belize District. On north side, it will be in the Narsey parking lot on Freetown Road. And in Ladyville, it will be right at the police station in the reception area that is not fully completed as yet.
The books range in various genres from fiction to cookbooks. The police invite all surrounding communities to come and enjoy the book fair. It starts from 10 in the morning and runs right through until 2 the afternoon. Our thought conditioner for today comes from Maya Angelou. It reads, quote, "It is time for parents to teach young people early on that in diversity there is beauty and there is strength," end of quote. This has been the evening news on Love Television. We invite you to log on to our website at www.lovefm.com for transcripts of our news stories. Thank you for watching. Do have a safe and enjoyable weekend. I am Renee Trujillo.